Hi, I'm Silas Nyanchwani. I'm a journalist, a writer, and a lecturer at a local university. Kwani they really brought like the jazz into literature. Yeah. When I enter the fiction mode, I'll read more fiction to prepare myself. And for us men, our identity comes from our primary identity, our ability to provide. In a family, a stupid man who's able to provide is more valued than a wise or intelligent man who can't provide.
Welcome to Conversations in Literature. My name is Eric Rugara, and I'm here with a guest, Silas Gisiora Nyanchwani, the author of 5 books, Sexorcised, Man About Town, Memos to Men, Volume 1, Memos to Men, Volume 2, Birthday Breakup.
Birthday Breakup.
Birthday Breakup and other short stories.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are way more memos coming. Or one more.
Yeah.
One more. So, Silas, karibu.
Asante sana. Yeah.
So, for a lot of writers, actually maybe all writers or all artists, if they are obsessed with a certain topic, it's personal. So this topic of the men, is there, maybe not men, but men-women relationships. I would say it's something that cuts across in your books. So the non-fiction books, the self-help books for men, and the fiction, Sexorcised, is about a man who is recovering from a divorce.
Yeah, divorce, yeah.
And then he goes on a sexual rampage.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
Uh-huh.
Then there is Man About Town, which is a collection of different essays. And you also have a lot of, some of them or many of them, dealing with, women, men dealing with women, heartbreak, that sort of thing, taking women out. Is that an obsession of yours?
I don't know whether it's an obsession, but I'm a social observer. I like observing a lot what's going on. Whether I'm in the market, in a matatu, like people fascinate me. And it so happens like in the last couple of years, I've been in that environment, whether it's in a club, in a social setting, stuff about marriage, separation and all that. Not just myself, even my friends, like all of us are in that space. And I realize that that's the kind of stuff that people respond to the most. Yesterday, this lady called me and was complaining like I'm talking about men all the damn time on my timeline. And I was like, I've only done one post about men today. I've talked about the cost of healthcare in the country. I've talked about fintech and all other things. But people, I realize that deep in our hearts, we are social animals. And anything that touches on family, men, women, sex and all that, people will always respond to that. Because deep within us, all of us have that longing maybe to be loved, to love, and that's why like you find like all the gossip online, like people tend to follow that. People are deeply invested in that. So I said, why not? It's something that I can work on. But if I was to have my way, I'll be more focused on food and travel writing. That's now something that I really, really like. Food.
Why don't you do it?
I do it. I talk about food a lot.
In your books. I know Man About Town had that, but if that's what makes you feel that you're really doing something even beyond, something that really touches you, should you do that or should you do what the people want?
Technically, I've not started right.
You've not started right?
Yeah, technically. Because what just happened is that the memos are purely incidental. Because I rested my column. I used to write a column called The Retrosexual in the Nairobian newspaper from 2013 to 2019. And when I quit that column, I was like, I'm done talking about men. And I started working on my novel. And then COVID came.
What inspired the novel?
Huh?
What inspired the novel? Sexorcised.
Sexorcised was also very incidental. Was
when you say you started working on the novel, it's Sexorcised or another one?
There's a novel that I started working way back in 2013. But the novel, it's sort of like autobiographical about my life in South Sudan. And
you are in South Sudan?
Yeah, I lived in South Sudan in the early 2010s. Yeah, there? I worked and lived there. But it was supposed to be like a South Sudanese novel. The novel is like very lyrical, very literary. Like it's one of those books that you want to work on properly. But then
you're still working on it?
Yeah, it should probably maybe released much later, like maybe 2, 3, or 4 years from now. Because I'm yet to go back to it. It's been a very busy.
How many hours do you have?
I did like about 20,000. Part of it like was in my blogs, like my older blogs. I was trying to work them. But then also it's kind of like got overtaken because the time I was writing it, South Sudan was like the new kid in the block and everything about South Sudan could sell back then. But then after COVID, Sexorcised was also very incidental in the sense that I was teaching, then I'm teaching these kids about introductions, then I'm just writing down my introductions and I wrote the sexual introduction down, but I realized it's too pornographic, I can't share it to the class. Then I was running a blog back then.
You are teaching, you teach which class?
I was teaching at Riara, but now this was a creative journalism. But now for the novel, there was a creative writing masterclass at the Creatives Garage in Hurlingham. So there was a bunch of like young people there. I was just training. Then I realized, when you have a group, you don't know who's a Christian, a Muslim, and all that. So you don't want to provoke their sensibilities. So I said, this is a good introduction. I can use it in my blog. So I had to create like a very simple blog about a one-night stand. Like these are stories that Chips Fungatu. You went to a club, picked a woman, and went home. I don't know why I even got the idea of like a divorced man. I think that this is around 2018, 2019. As I told you back then, divorces because they take place. So I think like some of my friends were getting divorced, and I think that's why like I was thinking about like a divorced man. And then I met a friend who was like a DO, what they normally call like an assistant county commissioner. Then he told me about a case he had handled of this woman who was playing two men. On a DNA, like he was lying to this man that both of them are a father, an engineer, and a pilot. So they went for a DNA test, and then one of them confirmed is the father, so the other one was relieved. So I was like, okay, wait, this is a good story. When you're a writer and you're having a conversation, you'll always know like, that sounds like something that can go into my book. So I was like, but wait, there was a blog I was writing that has a divorced man having sex for the first night after divorce. Then I'm like, why is he being divorced? And I'm like, well, it should be a DNA something. And I think around that time, either Big or one viral blogs around that time was about a man who discovered that one of his children is not his. So with that, now Sexorcised like came to life. I was like, now I have a novel. So you see, again, that wasn't planned for completely. So around that time, I was like, I'll write Sexorcised very quickly because I just wrote it within, I think, in 5 sittings, and I was done.
5 sittings?
Yeah. Like, that stream of consciousness, like, and then
how long were these sittings?
Normally, I sit like all night. Okay. And I'm writing, like, I do like between 3,000, 5,000 words in one sitting. Then I'll come to clean later. So it was like it has like 5 chapters. And all of them are supposed like to be blogs or something. And then now I started writing the memos, which again someone told, because people kept asking me like, hey, there's a memo you wrote about something I would like to read, and I'm like, I can't keep on going back looking for it.
Why did you call them memos? I thought, when I first saw that, you call them memos, and then you used to close off with the National Help Desk for Men or something like that. Very professional.
Yeah, now I borrowed the original, the idea of the memo when President Richard Nixon died. Arthur S. Thompson wrote an obituary, a very scathing like obituary on Richard Nixon. I think it was on the Rolling Stone of the Atlantic. And so when he was commissioned to write that,
that's a writer you look up to.
Arthur Thompson, yeah.
Yes.
So he opened that thing like it's a memo from something, blah blah blah, and so he wrote that obituary as a memo, and then he was attacking Nixon. Now he was like the most terrible president America has ever had, and so I read that obituary like around 2009. So it's one of those things that you read and then it just sticks to your head like. It's a memo, but it's not written in the memo like they do memos at campus like on the notes board. Yeah. So that time I started writing the memo. Around that time it's important like a memo to myself. It used to be like that memo to myself. That thing like you've done something like you messed up, and you like it was like a word trending at that time. So I was like, why can't I create a national welfare desk for men? So I was just being pompous kidogo,
So that was not from Retrosexual, your column?
The memos are completely different.
The National Help Desk?
No. The national, it was created around that time, around COVID. Because now people kept on coming to me like, say, Silas, niko na shida. So, and I'm like, so me, I don't have any solutions. But because I've read a few things here and there, and I normally talk to men who sound like they're wise, I can borrow the ideas and start. Right? Because the retrosexual actually was a sarcastic, it was satire. Because I was trying to act like an old. It was the the metrosexual.
Yes.
So the retrosexual is like the opposite.
Okay.
Now you're pining for old days. You're this battered man.
So the retrosexual is a reactionary.
It was a reactionary because now it was a reactionary way of dealing with metrosexual. Because back in the during the Kibaki time, like in good times, you'll find like men are grooming very well, going for pedicures, manicures.
It's the during the Roman Empire, during its high time, and then there's that time when the good times create the weak men. So that's when you find I don't know if you read Gibbon, The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, where he talks about they became voluptuous, which at that time meant they were eating well, drinking well, doing all sorts of soft things. And they became soft.
They became softer, exactly.
Yes.
And around that time, that was the like, and I was like, no, men should not be doing. And when I read even my older Facebook memories, I was constantly complaining. Like I would walk into the TV room and I'd find men watching soap operas, and I was like, no, it can't be this way. And you see, those men who are watching soap operas are the ones now who have been done dirty with the men in my generation.
Yeah. A question is, why does it matter? If other men are watching soap operas, like, why does it matter? To you, that is.
It matters to me because every day you wake up and you're like someone has killed their wife. Some guy just killed an Olympian, like an Olympic champion. This lady from Uganda. You see so much domestic violence. And a lot of it is completely unnecessary if these men were empowered with the knowledge to know some of these things that probably there are things I would have done worse if I didn't have this knowledge. You walk into your house and then you find your wife is cheating on you. So to most men, they can take that so personally until they get very, very violent. But now we are here as vanguards trying to tell these people like these things normally happen. There's nothing new under the sun. So and then being a journalist, being a writer, people tend to sort of like look up to us. Even if you don't have solutions, we can at the very least try and give people perspectives. Normally when I'm signing off the memos or when I'm introducing the memos, I always tell people that everything in these books should not be taken as fact. because all of us have like unique relationship problems. But in these memos, you might find some one or two perspectives that can help you reflect on your own, find that what normally works.
I have a question. So when you write to men, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you are providing solutions to men, or you are making them aware of the problem?
I think it's a bit of both. I try not to be someone who gives solutions.
So you are John the Baptist, not Jesus.
I'm sort of like, yeah,
you're not a savior. You know?
I'm not. You can't save people.
But there are people in the manosphere who pride themselves or who are portrayed as saviors.
I would
like,
understand.
When people say Kibe is saving men, Amerix is saving men.
I understand the appeal because the thing with us men, we are very hierarchical and we like following orders and we like having like a definitive leader who tells us like, let's go this way. Because we are very hierarchical, like in the way we do our things. But I'm old enough to know that people are very different. We have unique abilities, and even I just realized when I'm writing memos that each community have their own like unique masculinity problems. So like the red pill I serve in as much like it's universal, but it cannot apply uniformly. Aluya man has their own problems. Akiku man, they have their own problems. On and on and on and on. So, and then for me, I try not to be. I don't like the posturing, like that ultra whatever. I don't like it. I'm more like on the sage side of things because life is not black and white. Yeah.
I would say they are the masculinity guys who pose as father figures to men. But you sort of pose more like an uncle or a big brother.
Actually, I actually call myself Uncle Silas. Yes. One of the books that I'm yet to release is called like a Sunday afternoon drink with Uncle Silas. So I'm sort of like trying to have like a chat with my nephew because there are certain things. Part of the reason I hate writing about memos is there are things that you don't want to put them online. There are those things that your uncle will tell you like women are like this, women are like that. It's not scientific, but it's something that you need to know or now to live. The same way like in Western Kenya there's answer called like Senje. You've had like when South talk Senje or whatever. A Senje is not just an aunt. She's supposed to be like, she's supposed to mentor you. She's like a life coach. In the Kisi culture, your maternal uncles are like life coaches. They are not just uncles. They also play that supervisory role of ensuring that you turn into a proper man. And only maternal uncles are given that privilege. Like in our culture, for example, maternal uncles you can't beat your niece, you can't even pinch them. You're supposed to play like that father figure, vincular, like, the uncle figure. So I like being an uncle as opposed to being like a father figure. Yeah. Because being an uncle now, it means you can make someone see the point. A father will tell you don't drink alcohol, but an uncle will tell you unakunywa sana lakini si uko na familia. Si ungepunguza kidogo ndio hata watoto wafike uishi nao. Like now they make you think about your life. Some of the time they tell like stop drinking alcohol, but I can make you see why you should like tone it down. Yeah.
You say that you have not yet started writing. I think you are writing.
No, I was actually explaining that point before we lost the trail of that talk. So, Sexorcised is incidental. The memos, like, I just collected them because they were online. And I even tell guys, like, I don't like making money from the memos at all. Like, it was just because of that printing, editing, and all that. So, the book I would say, like, I've written is Man About Town. That one I sat down like deliberate. Now I'm writing a book. And
does writing have to be deliberate? It can't just come to you.
It has to be deliberate, depending. Like for example, I would like to travel South Africa by road and write about the cities along the way. You see now that's like a deliberate action I'm doing.
You know, there's this quote I saw, or there's this clip I was watching of Jordan Peterson some years ago. There's this thing he says, your hobbies, not hobbies, your interests or whatever it is, your passions, you don't choose them, they choose you.
Yeah.
You don't choose them, they choose you.
That's correct.
So you are running away from yourself.
No, I'm not running. That's
you know, like if you say you've not yet started writing, but the things that have chosen you, these are the things that have chosen you.
And
this is your métier.
And I'm making the most out of them. Now I also have like another life philosophy. You just can't sit around and do nothing. So whatever that you're doing, whether it's just writing a single Facebook post or a Twitter post, counts. So I'm not discounting the 5 books I've written. But I'm saying, like, you know, if I was to now follow my passion, like now I would like now to sit and work on my second novel, which is like almost ready in my head. I'm just trying to create an environment and I can sit and now write. Now that one I can say, now this is a book I would like you guys to read and enjoy. The same way like I wanted guys to read and enjoy Man About Town. Sexorcised is like a different story. So I want to tell you, like, now going into the future, I would like now to start now writing now in the things that really now interest me. All these memos, like, I'm happy I've done them, and that's what I'm talking about now. I'm doing the last memos. So after that, the problem now is that what is that? What is the word for that? What is the word for that thing? Like,
you know, I know what you're trying to say. Maybe there's this scene from The Godfather 3.
Yeah,
he's saying, I try to get away.
Yeah,
they keep pulling me back. Yeah, so
exactly, that's what I was saying. Like,
yes.
I've just stopped writing the memos, but now I have this bunch of like 10 very good books on masculinity, and I feel like there's still more content here to be explored. I just bought a book called Iron Man by Robert Bly. You should read it. It's one of the best books about masculinity, and I'm like, now how can I share this knowledge with other people? So that's what is in my head, like, can I still write for men? Because I'm honestly like tired about that back and forth with women on the comment section. Like, it really tires me. And sometimes I wish like we could have like a church of men where we just go talk about these things, as opposed to, because you know, when you post something online, it's very easy to be accused of misogyny and all those things. But I understand why they would say that.
Yeah.
But you see, women have that. Is it a carte blanche of like, for them they can write all the nasty things about men.
There's a woman I told that I'm going to have an interview with you. She said, ask him whether he knows he's a misogynist.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. So me, I don't like that term misogyny.
I don't either. I like misogyny because it's misogyny is a, you could call it like a technical term of something you have or do, but I don't like misogynist because it's a label. The moment you put it on a person, that's all we see of you.
It sticks, yeah.
It sticks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like racist. You know, if I call you a racist, I'm totally dehumanizing you, right?
Yeah.
But if I say you know, you have some racist attitudes, you know, it's something you have, not something you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that a lot, and it usually like breaks my heart. Because once someone has labeled you like that, it means there's no conversation that can take place beyond there. And then it means like there's no room for learning. Because we are constant learning. Sometimes I go back to what I wrote in 2019, I'm like, no, and I'm no longer this person, I no longer believe in this, you know. Like every 5 years, a new version of you comes up. Someone who's an atheist today, will 5 years from now, is a Churchill and all that. That's how I really would have loved like the masculine conversation to take place in a private sort of like safe space. Because as men, we're not allowed to air what's in our hearts. But women, a woman can go online and write all the bad things about men. And for men, we won't go there and start like, oh, you're a misandrist or what and all that. Yeah, so that's why I really hate like writing about men online.
So will you continue?
I'll still do, because I would like to review all those books about men. Because I'm sure we're going to need more and more of that.
So we may have more memos.
Yeah, but they are going to have like a different spin, a different approach. Because I'm big on spirituality. Because my brand of masculinity really has to go the Jesus way, the Christian way. And it's something I can persuade people into. But most people I know, we're living that era where people are trying to turn away from the church. And for me, I'm like going, I would like to write a book.
Is it that you've always been spiritual Christian?
No, I've always been.
Or you're going back?
I've always been. I got a bit distracted in between.
SDA?
Yeah, I've always been a very strong Adventist. But I've had my period of being secular. But even the memos, when you read them, I talk about God in those memos.
Did you ever have a desire to be a minister?
I was.
Oh, you were. I can see that. Because you are technically a bishop, you know.
Yeah, in the end, I would have loved to be a preacher, but then the church kind of like, the old Adventist church, the one that I grew up in, promoted a lot of modesty, temperance. Like you're supposed to be done away, to be done with this earth. So the remaining days of your lives here, you're supposed to be humble and do what is right. It doesn't discourage you from seeking material wealth or anything, but it makes you to be painfully aware that all is vanity. So in that way now, you learn how to live with people, you love your family and all that. But I think that has been taken away from our church currently. Every time I sit in church, the preachers, they don't have that like strong theology. Everyone is just after money. So that kind of sort of like discouraged me from the church the last couple of years.
So when you were young, was there a period where you would say you are rebelling against the church, drinking alcohol, doing all this?
No, I've drunk. I've had my fair share of secular
so
spree.
My question is like, you're clearly influenced by your Adventist upbringing.
Yeah.
But what are you also, in the same sense, resisting it while also embracing it? So it's like now you are a different kind of preacher with a different gospel, but you don't want to be an Adventist in that sense of drink soya, do this, but you still want to hold on to some of those.
What most people don't understand about the Adventist church, the health message in the Adventist church is purely advisory. It's not like it's like encoded in our doctrines. On that, one of our founders, Ellen G. White, and this is something that now science has gone back to. Like right now, you see there's no safe amount of alcohol to drink. Don't eat a lot of meat. Like all this, like everything. And there's a place in California. Is it called Lima? What? There's a valley in California where people live long, almost into the hundreds. And the most distinguishing factor about that valley is that all of them are Adventists. And it's purely because of the lifestyle. So that lifestyle that they encourage, whether against caffeine, alcohol and all that, it's just for your health. So it's not like they'll say like don't drink, don't do what, don't do that. So when you embrace the doctrines fully, then you'll stay away from that life. Yeah. So I can say like I've really rebelled, but I can say like I've not been a good Adventist or a good Christian. Yeah. So I would like to do more books for men now based on more on the Bible, as opposed to this, most of the work that you do online is just guesswork. But now there's a way that you can now root or anchor your books.
So you want to do some theology, read some books, some spirituality, some the Bible?
Yeah, I'm actually reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, but I want to see the men in the Bible.
So you're doing... I think Aliet wants to do a book as well on spirituality.
I think he's doing a book as an atheist or something.
As an atheist.
Yeah.
So you two are going to go from allies to ops. No,
I don't think whether we're going to in the opposite direction, because for me the book I'm writing is not like for people to worship God. it's sort of like a literary analysis of the men in the Bible, for example. Because I also feel like even when you don't believe in the Bible, I think it's a powerful book. There's so much that you can learn from the Bible, even if you just read it as just a mythological book, or I still feel like there's so much that you can learn from the Bible.
You know, that's very interesting, because Jordan Peterson is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Because like he's not a Christian, but he wants to utilize the Christian tradition to sort of bring a new awareness into the West, or bring back people to the West.
Actually, because the Western civilization is anchored in Christianity, like Christianity is one of the tenets of the, like this civilization is born from the Greek civilization, married into Christianity. And that then when you marry the two, then you get like the Western civilization, of which most of them have abandoned it. And the reason they have abandoned it is that those people are not Christians before. They just received Christianity, they received it, only that they got it a bit earlier. Like those Vikings and, you know, those people. The religion was not like their strongest. They are very irreligious, actually, when you read the history. The reason Christianity worked in Africa is that Africa already, we believed. We had like a belief system. So it was easy now to bring Christianity to Africa. And it was hard to take it to the East, because the East had their own ways. So the Jewish, whatever the Christianity, like they coming from the Jewish traditional practices, sort of like had some similarities with the way that we did our things. Like when you read the Old Testament, you find a lot of similarities with the African tradition. So that's why it was easy to come this way. So then the West civilization took it up, and then they have been rejecting it like in the last, 6 or so decades, to a point where like now more than half of the people in Europe, maybe if you ask them, they are a bit either indifferent, agnostic, or some of them are just atheists. The churches are basically empty. I was in Germany like a decade ago, and we visited a few churches, and you will find a few old people there. Like a very beautiful cathedral. You walk in and you'll find that just the priest and maybe a few older people there. Yeah.
You know, I find it very interesting that I don't know if any of you have noticed this. You are in the manosphere. You are moving back to Christianity. Jacob Elliott is in the manosphere.
Yeah.
He's not moving back to Christianity, but he's drawn back to it, to religion. He's drawn back to it, even if it's to criticize it, but he's still being drawn back to it to sort of treat it as a subject. Jordan Peterson, I wouldn't say he's in the manosphere, but technically he is. He's drawn back to Christianity, always has been. These are other guy, Andrew Tate, drawn to Islam. So if I would analyze this, I would say it suggests that the manosphere is built on the tenets of Abrahamic religions.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like the manosphere is trying to find some deeper roots than... You see, the manosphere is a very new idea, but older than that is Christianity, Islam, traditional African.
Everyone in the manosphere ultimately goes back to God. Like in the 2010s, there used to be a site called The Return of Kings. Now that was proper misogyny. Like sometimes I could read and I was like, what? You can't write, you can't say this loudly. And it's found as there are those things that you can talk maybe in a bar room, but you can't go and I think even the site was taken down. And the guys who used to write it, they used to promote that culture, like you can sleep around all you want, you can...
Is it the pickup artist?
Yeah, like they had a lot of that in that site.
I think
now they were just promoting a lot of nonsense, but it's found Rush, it's called Rush or something. Ultimately, I saw him, he went back into the Russian Orthodox Church and been following that and all that. It's part of the reason. The reason I told you, like, I don't like posturing is that you get the money, then you get all those cars, unajipiga kifua nini, and then you realize how superfluous those things are, how shallow that life is. And then down the line, all of us are seeking meaning. And we can try getting that in your job, in women, in whatever. But then down the line, you find like old people are not stupid when they discovered God or invented God, and people had to start now. There's something Jordan Peterson said when the Queen died, when was trying to defend the Queen, and say the Queen has been she was such a stabilizing figure because politicians, people generally hate politicians, but to have a figure that politicians now have to go and bow down to, it's such a powerful gesture. It's such a powerful symbol, because now the Queen is above politics, and whoever wins, whether you are from Labour or a Conservative, you still have like one higher authority to answer to. And that's the same thing with us as human beings. There is the human agency. Like you can believe in yourself, you can make yourself to be a god, but deep within, there's something I wrote yesterday. I don't know if they saw. Who you are on the toilet seat is what matters, because at that moment you are vulnerable. You are on your own.
Sure.
I can come out and start posting, I've written books, I'm driving a good car, I'm dating the hottest chick and all that. But there's an emptiness to that life. So that's why we find like more and more men, they have to go back and re-examine their lives. Some will re-examine and do away with God and seek other ways. But more will go back to God because it's sort of like a safe anchor. Yeah.
So the Silas, the preacher man, or Silas, the person with a man on a mission, or with a message. There's Silas who writes about heartbreaks. And then there's Silas the flâneur. That side of you. That's the side you say you would want to explore more. Travel, about food. You know,
the traditional white writer of the 20th century, the Norman Mailers, the Anti-S. Thompsons, the Ernest Hemingways, the Philip Roths. Those are the men like I admire. Like I like Ernest Hemingway, the man. I don't like his books so much. But his lifestyle, you know, like the fishing, going for those bullfightings in Spain and all that, I like that kind of life. Yeah. So that now doing that and reporting about it brings me to life. But now what breaks my heart, do people care about those things anymore?
They don't.
Like I'm trying to wonder, like anytime I write about...
You wrote Man About Town. I think
I wrote about Man About Town, and it has not been like my best-selling book. I would have loved it to be like my best-selling book, but it's not.
I think the reason those books or those sorts of things maybe don't matter so much to people is because they don't have conflict. Yeah, you know, it's like I went to this place, I saw this. I went to this place, I saw this. I ate this. But you see, like you said before, relationships, that's high stakes.
Relationships are always high stakes. But you see, now there's life as an art. I know you like art and you appreciate art. And I have this bunch of books in my house. They're called The Best of American, either essays, travel writing, short stories. So when you read their travel writing, someone can come and just even write about the wild beasts, migration to Serengeti. And we just love that piece, the way it's written, its artfulness and all that. And in Kenya, blogging was at its peak in the 2010s, the Bikos, the Magungas, and the likes. Back then, you could do that. But every day, I question myself. For example, I want to go to Dar es Salaam and write about the food culture there and all that. You can about all those things, but only a few people will be interested. You can see how popular the Wanderlust page is. But if I go and write about a one-night stand in Tanzania, now people like that.
Well, maybe you could write about the one-night stand while writing about the beauty of Dar es Salaam.
Yeah, there is that, and I try to do that a lot. But you see, now people will always remember about the one-night stand and forget about this other thing.
I'm starting to understand how you do your posts, because you do write that, you know, like really beautiful, long, very long posts. But then in here and there, you will throw some shout-outs, you know, to some woman, you know, somebody who broke your heart, Mercy, you know, mythical. So is you're trying to remind the people I'm still the Silas. You're like the cool guy. Even if I'm writing this long thing that maybe you don't care about whatever I'm writing about, I'm still that guy.
Yeah.
The persona.
I try to, like, for me, I believe in humor. And I'll try to do anything for a post to be a bit, to have some bit of humor. There's some posts that I do, especially the political posts when I'm pissed off, that I try to be profound. But increasingly, you realize people don't care.
They don't care.
Like, even if you scream people like, don't vote for so and so, they'll still go ahead and vote for the guy. So that also is a bit discouraging. So I realize, like, the more casual you are, I think Kenyans are so stressed. So when you write about humor, you know, like the posts that go viral all along. For example, I like Brian Banacho. He's an excellent writer, and every other evening he's writing about some relationship problem. Like, I think the other day he was writing about, like, you don't see, like, you're with your girlfriend, and then you ask her about, sijaona beshte yako so and so, and then it becomes like a problem. So people like that kind of stuff.
Is it about, like, drama, or the fact
drama,
that it's relatable?
It's drama. Also, it's relatable. But also now we are in those high moments, like, there's so much tension between men and women. So that tension, I think now we're bringing it out. You realize even our skits, like in YouTube, the plays and all that, people are really utilizing that tension. It works. For me, like, I really like going down on my Facebook memories. And every day, like, I'm bumping into something I wrote last year, and it had like 3,000 likes. And it's always about me being dumped, me going on a date that is disastrous. People kind of like those kind of things. And like I like the fun of it, but also I would have loved where, like, we can have the best of both worlds. Like, you can read the nonsensical stuff, but also now pause a moment, read like a long essay, like, let's say the kind of stuff you guys have written, The Elephant. Like, I would appreciate a culture where we can enjoy both. Like this lady in Nigeria, what's her name? Demila, whatever, the one who wrote like All Men in Nigeria. Like, enjoyed her book, but there's a place for that. You want to put that one down, but also now read something profound about Nigeria, the country. But now we in Africa, we don't seem to be getting that balance, and it really frustrates me a lot.
And your posts, they are long, but people read them. People read them. What do you think that's about? Like, anybody else writing such long posts would be writing to crickets.
Of course, people have known me over the years. But also there's a formula I learned about how people normally write jokes in comedy. When you watch a stand-up routine, the writing of those jokes is normally very formulaic. Like, you start here, then you go, there's a punchline here, then you come, there's a punchline, on and on and on and on. So anytime I'm writing, I have to throw in a punchline. And of course I was trained, like, my undergraduate degree was in literature. And in Henry Ndangasi, who were attacked recently, was one of the best teachers. So we were taught on how to sustain a narrative. So when someone wants to leave...
That sounds like propaganda. That sounds like the definition of propaganda, sustaining a narrative.
Yeah, you have to sustain it's propaganda, of course. All writing is propaganda. But you have to find a way that you can keep the reader with you. And I think the best writer we learned from also Sidney Sheldon. I don't know, they read his books. It was very good, the cliffhangers. Of course, now as an adult, when you read those books, they sound a bit shallow, but back then, like, you wanted to finish a chapter, unapata you can't.
Sidney Sheldon, you used to read Sidney Sheldon and you can't sleep.
No, you can't sleep. So I also try to use that trick.
Very big books, but you just read it until
because ile chapter,
very short chapter.
Penye unataka kumalizia, if someone was being stabbed, kisu ifikangi kwa nini? Like, it took up the knife and stabbed, but you're not told that he died. Then you have to go to the next chapter. and then you find like it goes like that. So it's just you must have that way, a way that you can sustain that that narrative, so that people don't get bored. The idea is that don't bore people.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've had a bit of a journey in terms of writing. You used to be with Kwani?
No, I never did anything with Kwani, because back then I was a student, and Kwani was it was like an enclave.
There's a lot. So you were just around, but
I was around at that period. I used to attend the events. I used to admire Binyavanga Wainaina a lot. I still think that is the best we've ever had. So I used to love the idea of Kwani.
He was a bit of a flâneur in that sense.
Yeah, he was, by all means. And him and Parcelo Kantai, the two, I think, were some of the best writers Kenya's ever had. And I don't think whether like we really celebrated them enough. But that's Kenya for you. So I used to enjoy Kwani, like really brought they really brought like the jazz into literature, because they did they were like, I think Kwani like 4 or 5 festivals. Remember they brought Chimamanda in 2008. Like I'm a first year in campus. Then there's this sensational Nigerian writer. Then she came immediately after the post-election violence. Her book Half of a Yellow Sun is about the Biafra War and all that, you know. So there was that excitement, you know. There were always being big names, the Teye Selassies, then Violet Arunobulawayo from Zimbabwe. So I used to hang around, and my hope was that I would one day maybe do something with them. But then it died before. But I attended all. They used to have what you call open mics. There used to be a club in Hamilton House, Mabera Street, called Club Sound. They used to have like very good open mics on Tuesday nights. And it used to be filled. Those were the good days of Kibaki. Weekday drinking was very common. Meze meja hivi. Yeah, so I used to love that. But you know, I joined campus in 2007, and I was published. My long piece was published in Mantok. Mantok used to be like the biggest column around that time. And one day I just wrote a small composition like "What Women Want." I was like 20.
Oh, you knew what women want? Or
no, I just asked. You know, I had read Yunga Pala, so we used to sort of like write and mirror whatever that he was writing.
Actually, you would say that is maybe the summation of the manosphere content. What do women want?
Yeah, so that was actually my first ever column that was published on September 1st in 2007.
The birth of a legend. You know, the birth of a legend, you know, where I said that you don't choose.
Yeah.
It chose you that day.
It chose me that day. And the most interesting bit about that story is that Yungapala had like this big column. So there used to be like a side column called By the Way. So where they used to ask for unsolicited material. So you'll just write and then they'll publish. So up to that point, I think I'd done like 3 or 4 pieces that submitted. So that piece, like What Women Want, I was like, now this is going to come out. So on the material day, then I went to buy the newspaper. Then I check on the By the Way column. It's not my piece. So now I'm disappointed. Like, there I gave that piece my best. Anyway, it's Saturday, let me read Oyungapala. So I read the headline. I think they tweaked the headline I'd used. And then the byline there, like, Silas Nyanchwani has been, and I'm like, what? I can't believe this. And I was staying with my cousin in Kibera. So after that, I was like, so I can be published. So again, I wrote another piece, but now that came, I think Oyunga maybe was out that week. So Oyunga resumed the following week, and then now my piece came where it was supposed to be another piece I'd written. So after a day or two, then the editor writes to me like, who are you, nini? I'm waiting to join college, I think.
Oh, you were not even yet in campus?
I wasn't yet in campus. I was due to join the University of Nairobi. And but then after 2 months in my class, I met another Alex Cree, my friend. He was a cartoonist at Nation. So I showed him my piece. I can only lip on pana. So he took me to Nation with the piece, and then apparently my check had been lying there. So I collected a check of, I think, 80,000 shillings. And I was like, oh, so I can be paid writing. And then now it started. because that was September, then I joined college October, then November I picked my check. From there now, there was no looking back.
Then eventually you got the retrosexual column.
So I did a bit of, so in college, I did a lot of freelancing. Pretty much just like this was my pocket money. I would write for Standard Nation. So I would read, like I used to read newspapers a lot. So I felt like I can write like this. So I used to pitch articles in both papers. So, but Standard just published me more. Nation still had like a lot of gatekeeping. So after college, by the fourth year in college now, swimming in money, I was a student leader and all that. So I stopped writing for like almost a year or two. Then after college, I went to Sudan. Then after Sudan, I came back. Now I went straight to write the retrosexual. Yeah.
There's something Hemingway wrote in one of his stories or books, Islands in the Stream.
In the Stream. The last novel he published.
Yes. So there's one where there's this character who is a writer and another one who is a painter. And the writer has not been writing for a while. Or when he writes things that, he feels are not good enough. So he write about, he wants to write like a real novel, great American novel. But when he writes, he ends up writing what he feels is trash.
Yeah.
And then the painter tells him, the reason you're doing this is because the mechanism of your craft, you see, it's inside you. So you used to write this sort of thing, so it got so ingrained in you that now this is, when you sit down to write, the mechanism works that way. And I feel that myself because I have written a lot of non-fiction these days, essays and stuff.
Yeah.
Writing on Facebook, publishing essays here and there. Now when I go to write fiction, I try to write a short story. I can't.
I know.
The mechanism has changed.
It has changed completely.
My writing, whatever the tool in my head hasn't, So I'm thinking that you started writing that thing, what do women want? Then you wrote the retrosexual column for like 6 years.
Yeah.
So the next time you try to write...
And besides that, I used to run a blog in the 2010s that was about dating and women and everything.
So that's why I'm saying you'll be writing about these things forever.
Now, I have a different approach, and maybe it can help you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going back to be writing my novel. So when I enter the fiction mode, I'll read more fiction to prepare myself. Like I know, like I'll set myself a target, like I'm going to read this Saul Bellow novel, I'm going to read Philip Roth, like I have like a list of books that I have to finish, a lot of short stories and all that. What that does to me, it retunes, like I'm sort of like retraining my brain now to think as a fiction writer. So because I've been reading a lot of non-fiction, because my schedule has been very tight, I can't sit down to finish. In fact, I have like 10 unfinished novels on my table. So because I've been in that non-fiction zone, so I've been reading more of non-fiction. So if I want to write like short stories, I'll read more short stories. Then I'll read more fiction for like, let's say 3, 4, 5 months. So my brain now goes back to think, to be more imaginatively, as opposed to when I'm writing more, the thing with the non-fiction, you can write in time.
Yeah.
But for fiction, I have to prepare that my mind that way. Yeah.
Fiction is, I don't know, it's weird. It's like a different way of seeing the world.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
It's like if you're going to borrow from like real life characters, like if I'm going to have an Eric Rugara in my book, I have like to distort you. Like there's a lot of thought process that goes into it.
And I never realized how hard it is, because you see, when I started writing when I was a kid, I only used to read fiction, right, as a kid. So when I started writing, I only used to write fiction. So for me, I thought fiction is easy, non-fiction is hard. So now when I become an adult, I start writing.
Fiction is hard because...
It was easy for me because that's the only thing I knew. So as an adult, I tried to write non-fiction. And then I got so good at non-fiction that now fiction is hard.
You're good. Like,
so now fiction is very hard for me now.
I've loved every essay you've written.
Yeah.
After I finished Sexorcised, believing me, I've only written only one short story that is in the opening short story in the Birthday Breakup, Martha. That's the only short story I've written. Like the only fiction after, like it was so exhausting when I finished writing Sexorcised. I had to write another novel. I discovered like it's not as easy. And you realize even Chimamanda, for example, she has not released any book from Americana. She did Americana. Yvonne Odhiambo, like she did Dust in 2012, I think. There's like a 7-year difference, you know. So that's the problem with fiction. But I think if you want to do fiction, then you have to go back to read fiction and retune your brain into that.
Is that why the Kwani generation never? Okay, they say that. Okay, I know it's I think it's a stereotype. I saw Kari Baraka said this. The Kwani generation didn't write novels or enough novels. I think Stanley Gazemba has written novels. Yvonne Odhiambo has written novels. But the consensus seems to be that they didn't write novels. The great Kwani writers didn't write novels. Paselelo Kantai was to write a book about Tomboya. There is Binyavanga didn't write a novel. He wrote a memoir. Billy Kahora has written short stories. I don't think he's written a novel.
Not any that I know of.
So could it be that these guys focus so much on politics, you know, Kenya, ideas, identity, you know, all those big ideas, so they became so non-fiction based they couldn't
I have a different
get into novels?
I have a different way of looking at it. So I normally divide the Kenyan we have like about 3 or 4 epochs. So we have the Ngugi generation, the Rebecca Njaus, and so we have the literary, like the scholarly novels, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, the Rebecca Njaus, Muthoni Likimani's, Grace Ogot, and the likes. That was like in the 60s. So in the 70s, we entered into the popular novel, the Charles Mangwas, the Mwangi Gisherus, Mwangi Ruenis, Meja Mwangi, definitely. That was in the 70s. I think like Going Down River Road is 1972.
Yes.
Then now in the 80s, now I think the East African education publishers brought us the John Kriamitis, the Spear books that spilled over to the 90s. But you notice from 1997, we don't have a novel coming out of Kenya. Then Kwani comes.
2003.
So from 1997 onwards, up to the time Kwani comes, I think Kenyans were not in a mood to read a novel. I'm talking about a Kenyan novel.
My theory is IMF. My theory is IMF.
There is that IMF, of course.
Because IMF, you see, IMF comes in the 90s. You see, government used to subsidize education, used to buy textbooks, right? So the publishers were making money, easy money, from selling textbooks to the government, which is now going to supply to the schools, right? IMF comes and they say, you know, you need to stop subsidizing healthcare and education, right? So now basically the publishers are thrown to the dogs in the sense of now they have to deal with the vicissitudes of the market.
Exactly.
Right? So now what happens? The publishers now have to grow up and learn how to make their own money and market to people, to schools and so forth, to make money.
That's true.
So they don't have money to do novels.
They don't have money, and then under the same environment of IMF, people are stressed. Like, people are so tired of the Moi dictatorship. When people are so tired of the dictatorship, that's not an environment for a novel. Is a
so I should not write a novel around this time.
No, right now I'm coming to this epoch. So after that, Kina Binyavanga come. They came. Now it's time to reflect on the bizarre 24 years that have just passed.
True.
So Kwani, Kwani was essentially, maybe, I hope I'm not skinned alive, Kwani was largely funded by Ford Foundation.
True.
So when you're who pays the piper calls for the tune. So they have to do some material. So they didn't have that luxury, like, because because a novel is a luxury, like so they have to do like those quick turnaround projects, like essays, short stories, blah 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 blah. You don't have to give someone like 10 million to go and write a novel for 3 years. So alafu, it's donor money.
Yes.
You can only write a novel using either corporate money or a publisher's money. And then now the focus, of course, went to textbooks. The East African education publishers, they are getting a lot of royalties from Izima books and all that. So after that now, we are the first generation again, and I'm really proud of this. Starting off from the 2018, after the Nkare review, the Kari Barakas and Troy. Now after Nkare now, the reason I loved Nkare and what they did was now for the first time we're going to have a literary journal that is ran by Kenyans, for Kenyans, propped up by Kenyans. Sadly didn't take off. But now we're starting out to do things for ourselves. And then I started writing the novels now. So we were lucky that now COVID came. Now people could stay home to read. I don't know how Sexorcised would have performed if not for COVID.
So now, you see, Sexorcised, you self-published.
I self-published.
Instead of going the mainstream way.
And I didn't know nobody would ever picked it. So now we are in that renaissance and that epoch. My only fear about this epoch is that we normally have that thing of start, stop. But I really hope that we don't stop, because there's something you wrote a couple of years back. Saying like the more we publish, the quality will get better and better. Yeah. So I've seen people complain like, oh, the quality of the books you are doing is not good enough.
If you compare the books now, I wrote that in 2020.
Yeah.
And I remember the contention at that time was the covers, the cover design. It was atrocious at that time. The standard, that is.
Yeah.
If you look at, like, if you just go to Nuri and look at the books being released today, gorgeous covers.
They're going to, and now gorgeous the writing, covers. I don't know how AI is going to affect us, but the writing also starts to improve. And too bad we don't have any government support. But believe you me, if we sustain this for 10 years, then you realize even our films will start getting better. Right now, we've done a lot of films in the showmarks and all that, but when you watch, there's still a lot of gaps in the writing, in the filming and all that. But the more you do it, the more you get better. Because those who come after us, they improve upon what we've done. So it was purely the environment. Right now we have a very receptive audience that has significantly grown. And I wish now we can give them more and get into a point where we can even be awarding the best book of the year. You can get people to start talking about these books. And so that I was asking, like, how come even Anglophone Africa,
I saw that,
we don't know who's the best writer in Zimbabwe right now. We don't know who's like the best columnist down there. And we should now start thinking in terms of blocks, because the East African alone is about 500 million people. Surely you can have like 1 million people there consuming what we check. So that's the kind of creative thing that we now to start thinking about.
Okay. You're saying that you have more memos.
The last batch of I wrote like 200 plus memos. And I've done volume 1 and volume 2. Each contains 50 memos. So the last 100 memos, I've selected those that I think are relevant, and they're going to be now in one volume, and I'm just calling them the last memos.
So you've published 50,
and now the last 100, I'm going to pick like maybe 60 or so of them, so that now they'll be the last compilation that I'm just calling them the last memos.
So the second book of memos, you sort of had a theme. Seven times a man meets himself.
Yes. Each of the memos, the first volume, it was all about how to father yourself. Because I felt like most men, especially millennial men, our fathers, they were either absent, they died young, or they didn't do a good job. So many of us don't have like strong identities. We're sort of like rootless. And then I just came up with this idea that what if you father yourself? And then now on the second one, the theme was all about like the 7 times a man meets himself. There are probably more times you'll meet yourself as an adult, but I identified like the 7 times when you've been divorced, a death in your family, when you catch a lifestyle disease, when your wife cheats on you, or when your wife insults you, and when you get into maybe a drunken fight, or you have like your first drunken accident. So it calls for like that moment of reflection.
You said millennial men, eh?
Yeah.
Is that a millennial problem, or is it something you see cutting across generations?
It's a unique problem to millennial men, because our fathers, I think, had their fathers, our grandfathers who were born, I think, in the 20s and the 30s. So they had their own problems, but their problems didn't revolve around identity. But for us millennial men, there's so much that took place in the past. Like, for example, if you come from Western Kenya, there's like a chance that your father probably died from HIV. So you're orphaned at a very young age. There's a chance that your father lost his job in the 90s or in the late 80s during the first batch of the SAPs, the structured adjustment programs. So you find that our fathers, like, you have like half of the guys who grow up either they don't have a father, or the father wasn't like really strong and present. And that has an impact on how you turn up as a man. When you don't have like a father or a strong father figure in your life, you really struggle in your life as an adult, because you don't have like a template that you can borrow from.
But what about the generation behind us, the Gen Z? Gen Z,
they're going to have their own unique problems. And they're sort of like going to inherit the dysfunction, because most of them have been born by millennials. And but the only difference is that for them, they would have grown in that dysfunction. Like, already I teach, and nearly half of the students in my class, they come from broken homes. So they've kind of like grown in that environment. See, for us, we came from like, there was like a semblance of family. There was a father and there was a mother. Only that now they were likely affected by, as a country or even as a continent, we've not talked about the effects of HIV. Like about 2 or 3 million people died in the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Some communities were affected more than others. We've not talked about the effects of like the structural adjustment programs. Like, most people normally talk about how their fathers were violent. We don't examine where that violence came from. Colonialism, and then we have the SAPs and all that. But now for us, we're affected that way. But now for a child who's already growing up like in a divorced household, they're going to have their own different kind of problems. And in a sense, like, each generation will have their own unique problems that revolve around identity and such. And you notice one thing about Gen Z is collectively, like, almost all the girls now have like the septum rings, a lot of tattoos and all that. And you can use those kind of like external markers to show you how people are craving for that identity. And identity always comes from your paternal side. So when you don't have a father, then you'll try to find other ways to manifest that identity. And that's what you find, like, now the septum rings, the earrings, the tattoos, and all that, the rebellious behavior and such. But for that, we'll have to wait maybe another 10 or so years to see how they're going to adjust.
Wouldn't you say, well, from my observation, Gen Z seem to be more well adjusted than millennials? You find millennials in their 30s still not married. Gen Zs in their 20s married with 2 children. So it's like, even this fella Morara Kebaso, he's 28, he has 2 children, thriving business. He's a Gen Z, he's an adult. He's way ahead of many millennials.
You see what happened with the millennials, especially. So we have two sets of millennials, older ones that I can put those born up around 1983, maybe 84. Those who are lucky to benefit from Kibakinomics, the boom years of the Kibaki, like probably if you graduated from college between 2006 to around 2009, 2010, you are lucky enough to get some job in banking, in the media, higher education, real estate, ICT, and all that. And then now we have younger millennials from around 1985, 86, 87, 88. The men from that specific number of years are having like the worst hit because they are graduating from campus from around.
What's the range of millennials? Because I think millennials go up to
1996.
95, 96, okay.
95, 96. But now each subset, like within each generation.
So the first subset is from
1978 to
1978 is millennial.
Yeah. Okay. Is it 78 or 1980?
Okay, 1980 to...
Yeah, around...
So the first subset would be 1980 to...
Let's say 80 to around 84.
84, okay.
Because those ones specifically benefited a lot from the Kibaki economy.
So then you get 85 to 95.
So 85... No, now I'm breaking it down for you. 85, 86, 87, 88, they graduated around 2010, 2011, and luckily maybe they got a job. Because now, by the time Kibaki is leaving, our economy is now going down because of the global recession and all that. So Uhuru comes in, then the economy completely takes a nosedive. You know, by 2015, our economy had like completely gone to the dogs. But you know, the effects normally come much later because you probably lose your job in 2015. You don't get divorced immediately. Maybe you get divorced after a year or so if you don't get another job quick enough.
What are the indicators that the economy had gone down? Because GDP was going up. So what indicator particularly? If
you remember, there was a time like in the newspapers, everything, companies were issuing those profit warnings. When I look at my Facebook memories, you're already crying. The moment you started taking that Eurobond thing, you remember even like when David Indy used to talk about how we're borrowing a lot. And they're like, the GDP politics works. Our African economies, they don't grow in a way that is uniform, that you can quantify. I remember there was even a time that we moved Kenya into a middle income. We're just playing with the PR so that we can raise the money that we can borrow from out there. But in real life, you could see like banks were sacking people. I was in the media from 2015 now. 2013, when I was hired, for example, at the Standard Media Group, we went there and we were earning like some huge packs. But within 2 years, I think, when that digital immigration came and the government took away the advertising from the newspapers, you realize that the media has been sacking people from that day. So that one sector affected. Then you come to higher education. People normally ask me like why I'm so bitter with Matiang'i, and already what he did in 2015 and started that joke like, oh, students are cheating, nini. And then you could see they took away, for example, the parallel program, which wasn't like a very perfect system, but at least the universities were able to function. So you find like now higher education also died. Like you could predict one. I even wrote it in 2015, like what Matiang'i has done is going to kill universities, and you can see now universities are on their deathbed. Like the conversation we're having right now about funding, this is something that started way back in 2015. So you find like now higher education has died. Now the banks, they are not giving people money, loans, because it's more lucrative to give the government. So businesses also started to go down. Because I remember like when I finished college in 2013, we used to go to the bar like every evening and we could fill the table. But gradually in the 2010s, I could see like people are no longer drinking. You can see now like Nairobi, all the clubs that were in Nairobi died, and I think the Somali restaurants took over. Like I can count.
Most of the last ones died during COVID.
Yeah, more just like, you know. So I've been following that all along, and I know how like that normally affects the economy. So for all the millennials, to go back to that conversation, those born in the mid to late 80s, they were affected around that time. And the funny thing about generations, the people who have been disadvantaged the most is that cohort of millennial between 1985 to 1993, because by the time they graduate from college, there are no jobs. More than half of the graduates are not getting jobs. A few are able to get into stuff like academic writing. A good bunch has gone out of the country. But these people you are seeing in the streets are people who have been graduating from 2014 onwards. They're not getting any jobs. So you find like in a family, you have like 5 graduates, but it's only one who's employed. And maybe one tried business, and the rest are just there, you know. So, but now for Gen Z, the economy normally like takes a dive, then it goes. People now find other alternatives way of making money. So for Gen Zs, for example, they have the dividend, like the social media dividend. Like for example, YouTube, people are now earning from YouTube. There are now more conventional means of making an income. Some of them are not really like professional. I can understand there's a lot of online pornographic like industry that is really booming in Nairobi, but it's not something that you can quantify. And people are making money through these shady deals, you know, carding and all that, and it can give that that thing like, oh, there's money, but still more people are unemployed, and for Gen Zs they're equally going to suffer until like there's a significant like the government makes significant interventions, that we see more policemen being employed, more doctors, more teachers, and then the private sector opens up. Like when you look around, you can find maybe right now, when you look around, you'll find like if you have 10 people, is about maybe 2 or 3 are employed, 7 are unemployed. So you need to get to a point where at least half of the people are employed, or more than half, so that now you can see that the economy is working.
Your writing comes out of the economy, like the writing you are doing for men. It's coming out of that. It's being triggered by that.
It was a response to what was happening in the economy, made worse by COVID. Because now with COVID, now people lost their jobs massively. And for us men, our identity comes from our primary identity, our ability to provide. Like in a family, a stupid man who's able to provide is more valued than a wise or intelligent man who can't provide.
True.
That's how it works. For us millennial men, we are the first generation to deal with an empowered woman, empowered in the sense financially, socially, and every possible way. We were like the first generation to go into a bar equally, like with women, and drink equally. Even older millennials, like women born in the early 80s, late 70s, they could drink, but they used to drink sparingly. Even better, I'm graduating from college, my classmates, most of them used to drink or party. They had to adjust to that life of like marriage, you know. But now younger ones, now you are marrying like you are equal. You're going to earn the same. You're sort of like, most of us like went into marriage, especially for the college educated, working in the corporate, living in cities. I always try to be very specific with that. So if you are marrying, then it means you are marrying your equal. But now that puts men into a disadvantage, because now our women are like, their mindset is completely in the West. They are tapping into the best that women can have, but also they have very traditional expectations on their men. Like for a man, you cannot outsource your provision, your protection, and all those roles. But for a woman, they have this, I don't know, they call it a unique advantage, where old feminine roles, she could outsource it to the house help. So sort of like women are having like the best of both worlds. And now, but for men, we still expected to do the same. And when doing the same, we also tend to have like traditional expectations on our wives. And practically it cannot work. Your wife cannot work and also akuja kupikia, kuoshea nguo. So now that mismatch bred a lot of conflicts, especially in many millennial marriages. And I project almost 30 to 40% collapsed. Like people, like I remember this lady who commented on one of my posts, and she said like she's lucky she didn't marry in the 2010s, because almost all her friends who married between 2010 and 2015 had divorced. And you see, this divorce has started around 2018. People normally think like it's COVID that made these things. I know most marriages started breaking down around 2017. COVID only accelerated
So
the whole situation.
what could have been the cause? Because
It's the economy.
Is the economy everything?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's the economy.
You know, it's interesting.
It's the economy.
It's the economy is going down.
Uh-huh.
Is going down. So men are going down, but women are going up.
Yeah. Now, what happened is when Kibaki came to power, the sectors that he propped up. Remember, we have affirmative action, and the sectors that he propped up were more on the corporate side of things, and the corporate tends to favor women. Like right now, if I apply a job and a woman applies, chances that woman being taken are extremely very high. In fact, I was talking to a young man, a teacher, who came to look for a job in Nairobi, akashindwa amerudi Ocha. So just chatting with him, like, what's up, how's it going? And he told me, I was telling him, why can't you apply? And he told me that every time he applies, a lady gets taken. It just innocently came from him, and I didn't tell him like the dynamics.
Is that like data or
yeah, it's data, like it's called like it's
is that policy or
it's kind of like, I don't know, how affirmative action works. You find like you're in the workplace, and then you look around, you find like you're a man and everyone around is just a woman. And so men sort of have gotten discouraged, so they don't like put in the work. And companies, like especially in the corporate world, women tend to do better. I think Jordan Peterson has talked about like industries where men fare better and where women. And the same thing, like if you go to America, the reason like why Trump rose to power, that from 1986 onwards, the world went into full corporate. This guy calls it, David Graeber, talked about bullshit jobs.
Are women just better corporate workers?
That's an environment that they will thrive. They will thrive because women are agreeable, they are driven, they are ambitious, and all that. So they'll thrive better in such an environment. So at the same time, you realize like our factories, and this is not just a Kenyan problem, because of China's like larger than life way, like the factories they have. So even our industry area, all those Indians who used to run factories, they have more or less, most of them have been shut down. They are now warehouses. It's cheaper to import. So and when you import, it means that all the factories are gone. If you're building our roads, they're being built by the Chinese. We killed agriculture. So you find like places where men could thrive, we don't. Others you find like you go to Central Kenya, we have a problem with alcoholism. You go to the Rift Valley, there's a problem with alcoholism and gambling. So now men don't have like those things that used to give them that identity, you know. When that happens, naturally, especially now, currently in Africa, in time, you are earning the same with your woman. Already that marriage is almost dead. And if she surpasses even by a coin, 90% of the chance that marriage collapses. And it collapses not because like women are bad people. It's because of like the dynamics and the social engineering that has been done over centuries. Any woman, when they marry, they still have the material expectations like the man has to provide. That provision is like their submission to you. I don't like that submission, like cooperation, is contingent on your provision. So when you don't provide, then you're likely to have a lot of problems. And now it's fine, like for most millennial men, and they went to boarding schools. After boarding schools, like we've never even had a moment to stay with our parents to learn how to be men, to learn how to be fathers. So we don't have like that template in our head, the kind of patience you need, the kind of like to be a father is like a very rigorous job. So we don't have it. But women still have that advantage, like being a mother, it's almost like natural to them. But being a father is something that you learn. And if you don't have like somewhere where you can learn from how to be a father, you easily get frustrated. You find like most women were complaining that men are not leaders, men are not doing their job right. I find a lot of millennials, like I don't know if you remember the Cheers Baba or whatever. that generation. That was the older generation of 19 early 80s. The Subaru boys and all that. Someone can just leave home on Thursday and come back on Monday. And it doesn't work that way. So there are problems on both sides, like on the women's side, on the men's side. But most of those problems, we shouldn't blame each other. It's just a moment that we find ourselves in, and now we have to unlearn the old ways and now try to relearn the new ways of doing things. Yeah.
So as we wind up, you can tell us, what are you reading right now? If you're reading
right now, I'm reading a book by there's a South African writer called Darrell Bristol Bobby. He wrote a book about Shackleton, the Antarctic explorer. So he's written this. It's kind of like a memoir. It's like a biography of Ernest Shackleton that is married into his own memoir. So that's the book I'm reading currently. And also I'm rereading Leche Amadi's The Concubine.
The Concubine. Yeah. Rereading or reading?
Rereading. I read it first. I was feeling like in class 8 or class 7. I remember the story very well, but now to unpack it now, someone with the knowledge about literature and all that, because I also want to read the Great Ponds.
Great Ponds was by him.
By him. I usually say like The Concubine is like the greatest African novel, but I want to read it again to see if that assertion is correct. So there's always the debate between Things Fall Apart. Like generally that's the agreed upon book. But I always feel like The Concubine should be like the great African novel.
So thank you
karibu
for showing up for the interview. I think it was a very rich conversation. I've actually unpacked. I didn't know you were such a staunch SDA person.
It's kind of been lost because of the...
And I think that's a very... I don't know if people know you're going to start going more into the religious side of things.
I told like I have this like 10 books on masculinity. I bought them like independently of each other, but the moment I started reading them, I realized like there's always that going back to spirituality.
I'm looking forward to that.
Asante.
So this was Silas Nyanchwani, and this is Conversations in Literature. We are sponsored by Nairobi Academic Press. So until next time, subscribe, follow the channel.